How do we get over our phone addiction? So, as an intuitive, it was hilarious. I was thinking about how to prepare for this video, and right in the middle, I got interrupted by somebody who wanted to have a long messaging conversation. And I'm such a healer. I'm so good at kind of pivoting and talking to people and helping them feel loved and helping them feel better that I actually got a little delayed making this video. So I need to get over my phone addiction too, but I'll talk about how I normally handle it. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb quite a bit. And I just remember mentally to check my texts or my Snapchat or my Instagram or whatever I want to check whenever I get to it. I don't actually check everything every day, although some things I check every day, like my text. But on average, people are interrupted by their phones 52 times a day, and now 3 out of 10 relationships end because of social media drama. So you want to be really careful that your phone isn't taking over your life. And this is tricky because I'm somebody who uses my phone. I use a lot of technology to do my work, but there has to be a clear boundary when the work ends and where your life begins. Like for me, I use my technology at home quite a bit, but then when I'm done using it, I shut it off and then I go do something else like cook, or I go outside the home to work out, and then I try to leave it shut off. Like I'm aware that there is an addictive process. There are people on there waiting for you to message, and they get the kind of the impression when you don't reply back right away that you're a bit cold. And that's unfortunate. I don't mean to be that way, but it's just the problem is if I'm always on there, it wastes a lot of my time, and I need my time in order to complete my projects. So Do Not Disturb is a big tool that I use. It doesn't always use perfectly. A few notifications do sneak by, but it helps cut down on them a lot. And sometimes I do get in a bit of trouble for checking my messages late, but I have such a high volume of stuff coming in from people that I can't afford to be responding every single time somebody pings me. So I turn all of those off. And then I also shut off my phone quite a bit. I have an extra phone that is a bit of a burner phone. It has no phones, no texting on it. It only just connects to the internet, and I use it as an alarm. And when I shut off my major phone, sometimes I turn on that phone to use it a little bit here and there when I need to, but it again cuts down a lot of the calls and the notifications, so I'm not wasting my time being interrupted. Because sometimes even just hearing a notification, there are some things that are really important. You may need to leave the notifications on, like if you're responsible for responding on something professionally. But other than that, I try to keep all of them off. If it doesn't need to be responded to that hour or that minute, it's off, because then I'm not spending so much time going in and checking things. I'm also really careful about surfing too much. There's always headlines screaming on my phone. But if I'm going to go on to my phone to get a task done, and this can be really hard with email because sometimes there are bills coming in with email, and that needs to be paid attention to. You don't want to forget those, but you want to go into the app and do the thing that you want to do with that mission in mind, rather than get sidetracked by some notification or something that's going on. It's like I go into Instagram to do my posts, but I'm not necessarily going in to check my DMs all the time. So don't get interrupted by those. Just try to stay on task for whatever you're going in to use the app for, and then get in and get out. And then if you're going to check messages, do that at a separate time that you schedule. It's like do it at 9 o'clock every day in the morning, or do it at 5 o'clock in the evening, and don't get sucked into like long message conversations. And this is a good tool for relationships as well. If you're dating and getting to know new people, don't get sucked into a lot of messaging. Of course, we have to message a little bit and start a conversation somewhere before we meet somebody in person. So this is a delicate balance. You do need to be a little bit responsive. But if people are constantly messaging you and they're not following up with any kind of committed action, like scheduling a date with you, it's a bad sign that they're kind of playing some game to get you to initiate first as the sensitive person. And as I've taught in the past, for sensitives, we really shouldn't be the ones to initiate dates. We need to protect ourselves a little bit more. We're like the turtles that need a bit more shell, whereas logical people are a little bit more outward focused, and they're used to they're used to failing more often. And so if they don't get what they want, it's often something that doesn't bother them as much, whereas it does bother us as sensitive people. So we only have that outward focus on things that really matter, like certain professional pursuits. If we're going to go into a public speaking engagement, then yes, be outward focused, pursue, try to get those relationships going. But when it comes to personal life, we shouldn't really be putting ourselves out there, because our time and our energy and our personalities are too precious. And if we put ourselves out there, we're just going to be consumed with everybody else's stuff, and we'll be like healer working for free. And then we'll never get time to focus on our own projects that actually help us grow. And when we grow professionally, we reach more people. So we actually have a bigger impact on the planet, rather than trying to heal 10 people who are in our life constantly coming to us with the same problems. We're actually healing hundreds or thousands of people in a single post. So that's why we have to really organize our energy correctly on our phone and our relationships and have boundaries. Doesn't mean you can't message people, but only do it a little bit throughout the day. And if they complain about it, just say, I'm not a big texter, I'm not a big messenger. And some people will be turned off by that and they won't like it and they'll stop talking to you. But having said that, those people might be playing a game anyway, because messaging a lot can be a big game that people play. And that's how some people get sucked out of their money online. It's because somebody was messaging them consistently, making them feel safe, making them feel validated, making them feel good. And then after their guard is down, they come in with the ask for the money, right? So we just got to be a little bit careful about that as sensitives and intuitives, because our hearts are so open and we're so compassionate that we can fall prey to these people who want us to do these kinds of things. So we don't want to get manipulated and used and abused as sensitives, because that blocks us from our life mission if we're constantly sad and wounded and having to heal from all this crap going on. I mean, we all get a dose of it. We never really escape it 100%. But we want to cut out most of these traumatic events so we can focus on being confident and getting our message out there so we can help people, okay? We don't want to waste our time getting hurt or disappointed more than beyond what is necessary for life. Like, we're all going to get a dose of life. We're all going to get a dose of disappointments, but don't take more than the recommended dose just because you feel guilty or you feel sad or you feel lonely. This is not a good thing. This is not a good use of your energy or your life as an intuitive. So you want to inspire people instead. You want to put good energy out into the world, and then that way you're actually helping the world rather than adding to the drowning sorrows of people who complain in the world.